What's going on, y'all? Taylor here with y'all 106.7. Today we are joined by singer-songwriter, country music rock star, Mr. Tyler Farr.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Glad to have you in. Welcome to y'all.
Thanks for having me. I was talking a minute ago. I met you years ago. Well, not that long ago, probably.
Yeah, it all runs
5
together.
years, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been listening to y'all's station. And
You're a fan of ours.
like the old school stuff. Love it.
We're a fan of yours.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Who would you say that you were a fan of, like from like the 80s or 90s, kind of some of our playlists?
80s or 90s. Hank Jr. That probably hands down. I mean, that's my guy. I've been fortunate to play some shows, do some main support for him on some shows every couple of years. I usually play with him, and he's a wild card. I love his stuff. That buddies with Tracy Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
Did y'all have him on here? Or did he stop by?
Not yet, but we would love to have Tracy. That's like one of my favorites.
We have mutual friends, and he's done some liners and some imaging and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Tracy. Joe Diffie was a good friend of mine, dear friend of mine, and Daryl Singletary was also a good friend of mine. Unfortunately, lost them very close to about a year apart during COVID. But I just played that Daryl Singletary's benefit, his wife does and stuff, and that was cool. That was a lot of, and Red Akins. Red Akins got me started, so loved Rhett in that '90s. Who else? There's a bunch of them. Freaking, I don't know, Doug Stone, all of it.
They're all so great.
Kevin Denny.
Yeah. So were you at the Opry last night? I saw you posted a picture with your wife. Yeah.
But I was at the Opry last week.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
You're a busy guy. You got some new music. I'm loving the new single.
Yeah, coming to a bar near you.
Coming to a bar near you.
Yeah,
Tell me about it.
We just released it a couple weeks ago, and we're pumped about it. I mean, this one is probably my favorite song I've released since Guy Walks Into a Bar. So, and it's kind of got that similar vibe. Country song, tells a story. And yeah, it's going over well live, and we've been working it and doing different podcasts and interviews and stuff, and just trying to, change with the times. This whole world of, streaming. That's why I like to listen to y'all station. It takes me out of that world, because some of that world, it's positive, some of it ain't. So
stressful. Changing with the times, but also like staying authentic to your sound. Like I said, you've got that country rock edge. Love your vocals. Nope, I feel like nobody can sing a heartbreak song better than you. It just
thank you.
punches you in the gut, and I feel like we're still hearing that with this new music as well.
Yeah. I mean, I've been punched in the gut a few times.
Yeah.
I guess you have to be able to, for those to come off, and this, I got some other songs that aren't out yet that definitely are down that aisle. I'll just, I've always loved, sad songs, especially that, tell a story. And, my buddy Lee Bryce, he's probably the king of the sad songs. He can pump them out.
But you're a party guy too. I would love to know the vibe of My Town 2 that's coming out in May. Yeah, is that also a heartbreak song, or is it?
Kind of, but it's like, it's more, it's like talking about we were raised in that church, we swam in that creek, we did this, and it's like she's stealing all of his memories. He's kind of like driving through town going, I can't go anywhere because I see, like, I'm seeing you and all this stuff, and he can't, like, I don't know. Where are you from?
Mississippi.
Yeah. Are you from a small town?
Very.
So, like, when someone breaks up, that they're broken. The whole town knows.
Yeah.
And it's like, in a small town, and I grew up down in Missouri, 1,200 people. And, my high school sweetheart, we broke up. I couldn't go to any, like, field parties because I knew she'd be there. You can't go even to a football game. She might be sitting with another guy. And then it's like
probably your friend.
Probably I had that happen once too. Went off to college and came home to find her knocking boots with a buddy of mine. So.
Oh, nice. Is that what inspired Redneck Crazy?
Not that one. That's another girlfriend. That was after I moved here.
You've had some bad luck, yeah.
But yeah, I guess you gotta go through that stuff.
Yeah.
To write some songs, and I think that's probably why Redneck Crazy did well, because it was real. And that's My Town 2 is basically saying, hey, I live here too. Like,
Yeah.
and so it's a little different, but it's up tempo, so it's kind of one of those ones that trick you.
Well, we're excited to hear it. 3 number ones. I'm sure you got more coming. We said Redneck Crazy, Whiskey in My Water, Guy Walks Into a Bar. You came onto the scene in 2013. Did you always know this is what you wanted to do? Like music? Or did you, at what point were you like, I'm going to go to Nashville and I'm going to play country music?
So my mom got me. I was always singing since I was little. My mom got me into classical voice lessons when I was in 7th grade, and I was, singing, R&B to country, and that was right when McGraw was taking off, and Chesney and Garth, and so I just loved music, and I actually enjoyed singing classical.
Yeah,
was not a fan when my mom was like, you're taking lessons, but it paid off in the end because I was doing like the All-State Choir and the All-National Choir and went to college on a classical vocal performance scholarship. But at the age of 16, I think, my mom, because my mom and dad sang too, my mom got married to George Jones's lead guitar player, and he had played with George. George actually kind of like raised him, and he lived with George and Nancy, and he played guitar for him for 20 years, and so that summer, or maybe 2 summers, I went on the road with Jones, and that's when I really fell in love with like country, and I started playing Opry's, little small podunk Opry's, and then went to college, and literally me and my high school sweetheart broke up, and I wasn't exceeding very well in college, and I guess tired of wasting my mom and dad's money, and just one day I just literally packed up my stuff and got in my little Hyundai Tiburon, hand-me-down piece of crap car, and drove to Nashville and started bouncing at Tootsie's, working the door, and then eventually someone didn't show up for a shift, got up and sang, and then one night a week turned into two turned into 4, singing 10 to 2:30 in the morning. That's where it's so long ago, I'm definitely aging myself, but it's back when they had smoking and you couldn't see the person in the very back of the front. It was the front room and the back room. It wasn't another story. And, that's where I really started learning my craft, and kind of like, I can do this. I just need to figure out how to get in there, And
the rest is history.
And that's kind of when I got introduced to Red Akins and started moving forward.
And you were the first artist signed to Jason Aldean's Night Train Records with BBR Music Group. That's pretty cool.
It was, it's good to, you need people like that in your life that keep you going. And
in your corner.
Yeah. And like between Luke Bryan and Jason, Lee Bryce, Cole Ford, several artists I could name, but like that really believe in you and like you as a person, but not only that, respect what you do as an artist. It kind of like, because you're going to have years that aren't, you don't have a number one, maybe 3 years, maybe 10. But if you got guys like that that are going, dude, you got this, you just do you, and the trend will go this way and it'll come back this way, and it's like a fork, and that Jason, I was at Sony, and it was obviously a huge corporation, a big label, more of a corporate world, and I kind of got tired of that. Like, the regime changes like it does every so often, and it kind of hit the fan, and I was not happy with what they were doing. And Jason, I was playing poker at his house. I'd rode my side by side over there, and we was hanging out one night because he lived down there close to me. And he's like, "Why don't you quit messing around with them and let me start a label and sign you under imprint Night Train under Broken Bow?" And I was like, "All right." And about a week later, I called him, "Are you serious about that?" "Yeah." Signed with them, and I was over there. We put a single. I forget what year we put out. Only Truck in Town, but that was our first single to radio. We did a big radio tour. But then 3 weeks after we released the single, COVID hit.
Ugh.
And so,
timing, man.
I don't even have to say what that did. Just unfortunate.
Yeah.
And so we, continued to try to push it and stuff, but not getting to meet with these PDs and bringing them out to shows and playing live shows just really didn't do it any favors. And then I was over there up until like a year ago, last year, this past summer. I left and doing the independent thing, giving it a go. And the reason for that was because BMG I bought out Broken Bow. And then I was right back in the situation I left in a big corporate label, because if you're not a top 5 artist, you kind of, and it just wasn't doing me any favors. And I called Jason, we're still tight, like hang out and stuff. And he's like, dude, I get it. You got to do what's best for you. And unfortunately, I can't say, hey, put Laney Wilson and Jelly Roll and all these other people aside and just focus on my boy Tyler. It doesn't work like that. And it's business and I get it. But I'm excited about this new stuff and doing it independent, because what that does that you can't do at those corporate labels and stuff is do whatever you want.
You can drop music whenever you want, creative control.
Exactly.
So win for you.
We're going to be dropping music, and it's been a minute, so it's good to see my fans so excited. Because when you're with a big label, like, when are you going to put it out? It sucks for me because you really don't have an answer for them.
Like, kind of at their mercy.
And the fans, they don't understand that. Like, they're like, what? You can't just put it. It's like, don't work like that, buddy. And so, yes, it gives me the freedom, which is what we're going to be doing. We put a song out, Wait For It was the first track, kind of the intro track to this new music we're putting out, just released, coming to a bar near you. And then, we'll have a new song out here about every 2 months. So.
Well, we can't wait to hear it.
Thank you.
We going on the road. We're going to be playing these shows live.
Yeah, we'll be. We just really started kicking off touring. Had a couple shows in Indianapolis and Flint, Michigan last weekend. Going to Florida this week and different festivals. We're doing the Gulf Coast Jam with Towser and
That's a fun one, yeah.
That I've done several times. Just touring, playing the new songs and post them online for people to invest in them.
Well, you and the Country Boys, I saw, are you a part owner of Buck Commander?
Yeah.
The brand?
So, yeah. So, I met Willie Robertson years ago when I used to play in Colt Ford's band, acoustic, and I had a developmental deal with Sony, and he was like, man, if you come on the road, I'll let you open up the show 30 minutes and use my band, and you'll get paid for that and playing with me. I was like, this is awesome, get on first time on a tour bus. And I got to go out there, made some decent money, and, that's where I met Willie, was on the road with Colt. And it's kind of funny how relationships, like, come full circle and stuff, because Willie was in my Redneck Crazy music video. I got him in, and that was when Duck Dynasty started blowing up. And then I went on the road with Aldine for Burn It Down tour with FGL the first year with him. Then we did it 2 years in a row, which is kind of weird because you usually don't see artists having the same person with them that like back to back. And so he didn't hate me. That was good. But the next year we did it with Cole Swindell, and by this point me and him had started hunting together, and he was a big Georgia fan, as am I, and liked
Go Dogs.
and liked to deer hunt, and invited me out to E3. He's like, my buddy Adam LaRoche got a place out there in E3, and I'm with Buck Commander, and I knew Buck Commander. I was like, oh, heck yeah, I'm in. Went out there and just hit it off with all the guys, and like, they're my boys now. It's like a really messed up group of like Boy Scouts or something, like a misfit little clan, but we all love the Lord and love to party a little bit, and
amen. I bet you guys have some good times. Bet you have some good stories.
So they're all and that's why I've always tried to surround myself with people like that. And Willie, after about a year of hunting with him, it was like maybe 2 years, he's like, man, you just want to be a part of this? You want to buy into this company and be another? He's like, you're hunting with us like 4 times a year. I was like, really? I was like, about to start crying, because all I've ever wanted to do is I wanted to be in the hunting industry before I even wanted to sing. So I'm like, now I got the best of both worlds.
There you
so
go.
Very blessed.
What's the biggest buck you've ever killed?
Well, the biggest buck I'm going to kill is behind my house. If someone poached him this winter.
You got your eye on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think, and I shot it, and I will probably say this out of Aldean's redneck blind down there on a lease we were on, and he didn't get around to hunting a whole lot that year. It was a few years back, and yeah, I shot it out. I shot it. And I remember I sent him. He was the first one I sent a picture to because he was busy and stuff, and I hadn't even got to hunt a whole lot. But it started snowing, and it got really cold. And I'm like, I gotta go out there, and he knew I was hunting over there, and I was hunting in a stand. I didn't sneak in and shoot it, kind of, but I sent him a picture. I shot it. It's a 146-inch deer, which Tennessee, that's great.
Yeah.
And I'm not a huge trophy hunter. If you watch Buck Commander, we goof off and shoot mature bucks. You know, we ain't. But if they come along, we'll shoot them. So I'm and Tombo, Buck Commander, he'll shoot whatever. So, but yeah, that was probably the biggest one I've shot. But I'm the youngest one of the newest and youngest members, so I still got plenty of time. But I'm running out of wall space, and my wife is like, you can't get a full shoulder mount on every deer. I mean, it just started going across the freaking walls. There's ducks hanging from the ceiling, and she's like, okay, when it gets to here, we're done. And it only took, I think, the first 2 years, and I think I shot 4 one year and 3 the next, and shot 4 bucks last year, and she
Well, that's a good problem to have.
put the hammer down. But yes,
That's great. So when you're not hunting, you're not working, you're a family guy.
yeah.
I need some fatherly advice. I found out I'm also expecting a baby this year, and I'm like, whoa. So were you scared when you found out you were going to be a dad? Tell me, what is the secret to parenting? Give me some
terrified,
tips.
absolutely terrified.
Yeah.
And and yeah, my daughter's her name's Hollis Caroline, and
Girl dad. I'm having a
yeah,
girl. Yeah.
You're having a girl?
I am.
I wouldn't change it for a thing. I thought I wanted a boy. I feel like every man
Naturally.
deep down naturally
Yeah.
wants a boy, because guess what? We know about boys.
Yeah.
I don't even know my wife yet. Still ain't figured that out.
We're a complicated breed.
And never will.
Yeah.
You know, my mother, I said, still, don't, I think I'm making headway, and then it just, I'm like, wow, y'all are the most unpredictable.
Yeah.
If there was a season, like if you were an animal, and there was a season, you would be
This
unkillable.
is the country boy talking about
Listen,
the
you
seasons
would, no
of
one,
animals. Yeah.
your species would thrive, because no one ever kill y'all, because we can't predict you.
Yeah.
That's just unbelievable.
It's our superpower.
I'm telling you. And, you know, I remember my wife, though, and she's like, I'm pregnant. And I was like, oh, gosh. And then finally got over that. And there ain't a book.
Yeah.
There ain't a book that will tell a dad what he needs. There's no guide. You know, they make them. But you can take that thing and just.
You just figure it out as you go.
You figure it out, and it comes natural. But when I did freak out even more than when she told me she was pregnant, she came and she's like, hey, you want to, I got the doctor on the phone. They're going to tell us the
gender?
gender. I was
Yeah.
about to say species. That's that hunt. My mind was still in hunt mode. What kind of game she's got coming? No,
Yeah.
we're going to tell you the gender. You want to, I'm like, whoa, I'm not ready. You know, I started like panicking, because that's a big thing. And you're having a girl, and I'm like, I'm not going to say what I said on air, but
Yeah.
oh, crap.
Great.
I used the more enforcing word, but it was like, oh my God, I do. How am I going to be a daddy to a girl? Well, I don't even have the one I'm with figured out.
Yeah.
But it came pretty natural, and she's my best friend. She has told me, I think in the last week, at least 3 times, that we were riding the other day. She likes to ride side by side, look for deer and turkeys, and
Raising you a country girl. We
go to the
love
river.
it.
And we got 200 acres, and I'm glad I can provide that. Was able to provide that for her, because I didn't have that much land. We were a little kind of poor growing up a little bit, but we definitely did not have that. It was always like public land or hunting somebody else's. But she gets to, you know, play in mud and go play in the river, and she has told me she wants to be a hunter just like Dad, like 3 times in the last week.
You're like, yeah.
She goes, because I want to shoot big deers and I want to shoot them turkeys right in the face. And which is where you're supposed to shoot them, so she's got it figured out.
That's adorable. I love it.
But I tiptoed getting her into it because it's like you don't want to take a kid out hunting, and like she has not even seen a deer get shot, and you just bam, and they'd be traumatized. Yeah. So like first it was watching Buck Commander with me on TV, and explaining to her, she goes, "Daddy, why you have all these deer up there?" And she talked like her lips barely touch when she talks. She'd well, I got them turkeys up there.
Had to ease her into it.
Oh yeah, she talks kind of like you.
Well, that's how I grew up. I think it's important for kids to be outside, playing in the mud, nature. We got too much technology.
Absolutely,
so.
And I'm a stickler on the phone thing. My wife, I said, okay, that's enough. Like, I downloaded like some of these cartoons. I'm like, that ain't happening.
Yeah.
I downloaded all the Looney Tunes. She's watching Roadrunner and Bugs blowing each other, Wile E. Coyote blowing each other up and stuff. And I mean,
raising you a baby in the 90s.
Basically. But out in the country, you can do that because there's not. You get to, and you're supposed to control what they're influenced by.
Yeah.
That's your job. And it's like, and I believe the best advice is like, don't try to be your kid's like best friend or whatever. Like, you're raising a child. You you love them, but don't like be besties or whatever.
Yeah.
That's what her friends. You're a parent, and you get to decide.
Got to lay down the law.
And it don't matter what the other kids are doing. You can control their environment, and you should. And with the new technology, you have to be super careful with that nowadays. Yeah. So she's growing up. Like, I get off the road, I'm gone 4 days. I get home, and I feel like she's just like older. Like she's like almost 14. She looks older every time I see her, and learning new words.
Goes by fast.
Yeah.
No curse words, huh?
She said the opposite of crap, and I wasn't even the one that I thought for sure I was going to be the one. And she had no idea. Yeah. And my wife was driving, and she let it out, and Hollis didn't skip a beat. What's that word mean? I was like, don't you worry about it. Don't ever say that again.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
I knew it was going to come at some point, but.
Unless she's listening to that new Tyler Farr.
Yeah.
Country is shit with Jelly Roll.
Yeah.
That was year before last. I love that.
I have no idea why she said it.
Yeah. Where'd she get that word?
Oh, man. Oh, that's unbelievable.
That's great.
No, she's been doing a little modeling. She did I got her with my Mark Block agency, and he owns a talent agency, and he would put models and videos. He'd done some for mine. And I was like, man, because she loves taking pictures. And I was like, why don't we get her modeling if she loves it so much? She'll just put it in her funds for college.
Yeah.
So that's what we did, up to her account. And she did a Cracker Barrel commercial.
Oh, wow.
Didn't bring me any gift cards.
No.
I thought I was going to get a lifetime
Get
membership.
something out of it, yeah.
Chicken and rice. And then she just did a commercial. This is hilarious just because she's my daughter for guns.com.
Oh, wow. I love that.
So,
you got a little celebrity on your hands. We'll be bringing her in for an interview next.
I need to. I won't have to play as many shows.
Yeah.
I can put her to work.
That's so great. Well, you got a lot going on. What is the best way for fans to keep up with you? TylerFarr.com, social media?
They can go to my website, TylerFarr.com. They can go. The best is probably for live, recent updates, my Instagram, Facebook. There's 50 of them now. But TikTok, you'll hear the new music first on there. Streaming across all platforms. Hopefully on y'all's station.
Yeah. You're on everything.
And not MySpace.
Yeah.
Don't go to my MySpace page.
I do miss the MySpace. Well, we are so excited for this new music, and thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Y'all go stream Coming to a Bar Near You, Tyler Farr, and stay tuned for more new music, My Town 2, and more coming up.